How do you build your boardroom confidence? This is a common question that I get asked in private by many new and aspiring board directors who are entering the boardroom and really starting to build up quality boardroom experiences, but lack the confidence to influence and to communicate strongly in the boardroom setting. And the reality is, it takes a little bit of time to build that confidence, to build the experience. You're working now in a different realm to what you may have typically been working in. You might have been very successful in the corporate environment, but now you're stepping into the boardroom. And often people get their first foray into this type of environment by presenting to the board. You might have been the CFO, COO, CEO, having to present key information to a boardroom and preparing a board paper, preparing a presentation. And, initially this sort of work is daunting. It can catch even the most confident business executives off guard, because you're often walking into a very formal atmosphere, a very serious business atmosphere, and you need to get the information right, and often you have to be really able to back your statements up, and hopefully you've put a fair bit of thought into how you prepare that information. I had some feedback from a very experienced board director just the other day, and he had to give a presentation to a very significant board of directors. It was an ASX 50, and it was very formal. There were no meet and greets, there were no niceties around the meeting. A little off-putting, there was a sort of an expectation to be a little bit more congenial, maybe a little bit more friendly, but the reality is this is serious business, and sometimes you walk into these environments and you can be caught off guard by how serious the matter is, and how there's not the jokes, there's not the kind of camaraderie that you might expect in a team meeting. After all, you are presenting to the board of directors. But I think the key to building confidence, whether you're stepping onto the board for the first time or you're dealing with a really difficult issue, recognize everyone's probably been in this position at some point in their corporate lives, their board careers. It's a very common feeling to feel a little bit lacking in confidence and building up that expertise over a period of time. But the key is always in the preparation, in my opinion. The better prepared you are, the more you are armed with the right information. Also, with preparation, you can preempt what objections may come across the table and have a prepared response for those objections. And that preparation helps to give you that confidence. Also, it does over the years help to become a very succinct and powerful communicator, and to really work on, developing those skills. And it is a skill that can be learnt. And I think, that's always the nice aspect of communication. It's not difficult to master, but you do have to allocate maybe some time and effort to it. Personally, if I was giving a board paper or a presentation to the board of directors, I would prepare in a way that's, quite, basic. I would actually speak the paper out loud at home. I'd speak to a camera. I'd speak to my voicemail. I'd record, on my phone, the message, so I could play it back, see how the messages are landing, see how my language is operating. Am I landing my key points? Am I putting the emphasis on the right information? And, practice in that way. Be really not just doing these things off the cuff. Do the formal preparation, do the formal exercise. So I think number one, key hack, if you like, towards building confidence is preparation. The second secret hack is the meetings that happen before the meetings, where the real work often happens. And this is where you socialize the business idea, you gain support, you sort of soundboard what the objections might look like. And so if I've got a really important paper which is really crucial to land, and I want to get have an influential outcome, I will socialise that with key board directors, and I'll often go to the board director who I'm confident is going to object the most, because if I can get that person a little bit on side before the meeting, that can always help. And that's the person who's likely to come up, throw up the objections, throw up the concerns. And so if I can understand those concerns before the meeting, I can frame my argument, I can bring other information into the mix, I can bolster the information with, the right data to show the right, conclusions and so on. And those softly meetings that you have before the board meeting are absolutely crucial. And if you're not leveraging that, it's a huge mistake. I mean, you're a bit naive if you think people have come into a boardroom and are doing a presentation and they haven't run it past a few people before that meeting. So the meetings that happen before the meetings are absolutely mission critical in a boardroom setting, and the preparation is absolutely critical. And in particular, really zeroing in on what you believe the objections might be, so that you can be armed with the right information, so that you can really come across as confident, come across as professional, come across as informed, a subject matter expert. In all circumstances, even if people don't land on your argument and they don't agree necessarily with your argument, and even if your argument doesn't get up, that's the ultimate aim here. You want to come across as a very professional board director, thought through the arguments, thought through the pros and cons, came to the table with an opinion. Very, very important boardroom work to get right.